Welcome back, everybody. I'm Deez. This is my workshop. Today we are going to make vise improvements. I'm going to make some soft jaws, aluminum soft jaws, for the vise on the milling table. These are the original ones that came with it. As I was saying, these are the original vise jaws that came on the vise I bought. It was one of the, it's a Chinese cheap version of a vise, but it's built well enough for my needs. The only thing, when you get one of these, all of these edges on mine had a burr, and you know, if you catch yourself wrong, even the corners are sharp, but all you gotta do is take them off of there, and I just knocked them down with an abrasive stone just to take off all of that extra. I forgot there's one side there, you can see, you know, your fingernail catches it, but all of these edges had that little burr. And if you're, you know, especially on the face, if you're trying to mount something up, that little burr could be 1 to 2 thou off, affecting your part. But this is the fixed jaw side. This is the movable jaw side. And again, same thing. I cleaned up all of these edges much better, right? They're not catching, or there's no stick out or a burr. The grindings overall are very nice, but yeah, those burrs, you're gonna have to take them off and take care of that. They didn't grind or anything on the bottom, the base side of these, so I guess it's not critical. But you know, if you're gonna make these, why not make them, you know, finish it out? But you know, it is cheap. I mean, that's how they save some money. I don't know. But anyway, this is the movable jaw side. So what I want to do is make an aluminum version out of this. And this is a piece of stock I got from the source where I was buying just random cutoffs and things like that. And I'm going to make some oversized jaws out of this aluminum. I'm not going to aim for an exact height or dimension, so to speak. I am going to go for 5 inches. These are 4 inches, and yeah, 4 inches 50 thou, something like that. 4 inches 47 thou. So I'm just going to shoot for 5 inches for each of these jaws, and the reason is it's quite a bit thicker. I don't want to go and hog a bunch of that off and match up the thicknesses of these. I think that because it's aluminum, it'll be kind of nice just to have the extra beef on there. And then if I ever wanted to face it down because it gets chewed up, all I got to do is put these on, face it down, and then I got some fresh surfaces with my aluminum soft jaws. So that's going to be today's project. Need to draw it out. These holes need to be pretty accurate. There's going to be countersink that I have to work with because there's cap head screws, and I want to make sure that those are below the surface, and I need to get all of my dimensions correct, or these won't fit. So it'll be an interesting project. It seems like a really simple project, but there is some challenges. You got to get your hole spacing right, top to bottom, left to right, and between each other. You got to get your dimensions, and we're going to have to, you know, use a milling cutter and cut all this down. I may break out the fly cutter to come up with a nice finish on these, and that's going to be today's project. So first thing I'm going to do is draw it up. go. So I just spent a little bit of time here measuring out the critical dimensions, which is really just the small diameter hole, the larger diameter hole. I'm going to do some countersink so I can get my cap head screws below the surface, and then I'm just going to do 5-inch jaws. So that's going to be the measurement. I'm going to use the DRO a lot. I think that's going to be awesome. And the only other thing that I need to figure out is, now that I know these dimensions, I need to figure out where the holes are going to be on the 5-inch piece, because they're going to be different than this 4-inch piece. So other than that, you know, the math, we just add an inch, a ½ inch on each side, and that should cover it. But again, you know, we want to make sure we get it all correct. I'm going to cut the material first, and then I'm going to try to work on the machining of this with both pieces in, so they're actually machined the same. So wish me luck. It's the first time I've done this. Hopefully these things turn out. Went ahead and measured the rest of the dimensions. Apparently these aren't too critical. 590 thou on one side, 612 thou on the other, 591 on one, 622. So they're 20, 30 thou difference. Apparently it's not critical. So anyway, we're going to do our best to make them closer than that. But again, we're just making soft jaws. I just need them to clamp down nice and concentric and tight against each other, and hopefully they're usable. So let's get started. I've got an assortment of different end mills and things. What I want to do is square these two pieces up as best I can, and I don't have a stop, and my vise isn't big enough really, so you know, there's going to be some trial and error here. This is one of my first major projects on the mill, but I think this is going to work. All I want to do is square off these two ends, then I'm going to mill off the top and square those. So I'll have these two ends will be square, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other two, and then I'm going to work on probably doing a fly cut for the faces, and we'll just keep going. So that's the plan. There we go. We got one side done. Now what I want to do, oh, that's nice. Very nice. Now what I want to do is bring this down. I'm going to change out my cutters and we're going to clean up the top surface. Here we go. We got those two sides squared off. You can see the tool marks, but wow, that is smooth. Smooth. A little burr on the ends, but that's okay. That's what I was going for. So I have these two sides squared up. I want to get this cleaned up and then all this wiped down, and then we're going to flip it end for end and do the same thing for this side and the other end. And we're going to keep these lined up as best we can. I'm going to use a square, and that's going to be the next operation. There we go. We got that one done too. Clean that up too. It's amazing. You can see the cut marks from the tooling, but it's super smooth. So now what we're going to do is switch over our end mills, and we're going to cut this surface here next. All right, we got our parts machined, and you can see the tool marks quite prominently, but they're all very, very smooth. These are going to work fine for soft jaws. They're going to be big, beefy aluminum soft jaws that in time I can shave off some if for some reason they're marred up and I don't like how they're looking. I can clean them up and keep going. So what I'm going to do is drill these at the same time, so they're both the same. These holes are within 20 to 30 thou, which tells me there's some play in those, and we're just going to drill them at the same time, and then we'll have our 4 holes, 2 in each, done, and then we'll look at doing our countersink to make the head below the surface of the cap head screw, below the surface of these. So let's get these laid out. I'm just going to do one of them because I'm going to do them together. I think that'll work. There should be enough vise, and then I can put some parallels underneath so I don't dig into the lathe way or the vise ways at all. And if I don't like it, then if I don't like the setup once I get going, then I'll do both of them independently. So let's get some blue die chem on one of these. Careful with this stuff. It's old. It's probably got all kinds of chemicals that are not good for you in here. But this one I use. All right, we'll let that dry. We will let that dry and continue on. Once that's dry, we'll mark out where the holes will be. We're ready to drill these holes. I can't get both of the pieces in here, so what I'm going to do is drill the hole. Then I'm going to transfer punch from this one into the other one, and then we're going to drill those holes, and then we'll do our counter bore. So let's get started. All right, now we're ready for the counter bore. Here's my counter bore set up. We're going to do 350 thou depth. I got lots of meat here, and that way I got plenty of room once I mount them up. And we could shave them off if we ever wanted to. So let's get started. All right, we're going to try this bit. We're going to do just a real slight chamfer on both sides of both pieces, and then I believe, other than cleaning this up, I think we got our soft jaws created here. Let's get this done. There's one side. Flip it over. Yogi's in. One is done. Get that out of here. Swap it out for the other one. That is the parts complete. Let me clean up some of this mess and I'll bring you back to the bench. We'll do a recap and then we'll do a final fit. All right, we'll do a bit of a recap before we try to do a fit up. I'm going to need longer cap head screws. I don't want to counter bore those any further because I don't need to. I just need to get a variety of cap head screws that are metric. I've got some that are not metric, so I need to get some metric cap head screws, and then I'll be able to fit these up. But these turned out very nice. The finish, it'd look better if I used a fly cutter. Maybe someday I'll face these off. I might, when I get them mounted, I might go ahead and run the fly cutter over the top of both, just to parallel it to the machine. But otherwise, these are the finished jaws. I just need to fit them up and give them a try. I can't do that though, like I said, until I get some cap head screws. But I will get those very soon. So stand by. It won't be long for you, but it'll be a little bit for me. I finally got some M6 by 25mm screws so that I could get these mounted. I haven't done it yet. Let's hope that I've got all my holes and everything lined up so that these will mount up nicely. I have everything cleaned up as best I can. There's nothing behind it. So this one's going to go up here. Hopefully these screws will work out. I think they will. Get this out of the way. Oh yeah, going in there nicely. Got my countersunk holes. There we are. right, and then this one. Again, if you remember, I got my countersunk board. Hopefully these fit in here. Yeah. I want you to bring this out farther, so I got room to tighten those up. There we go. Oh, well, if I get this in there now, we're fine. That little one's kind of pain. Yeah. Not really. I don't have any bolt in time. So let's do this. Alright, we'll crank those down like that. So these going. Again, this is our final test fit. I may end up taking a flywheel and smoothing down the tops. Yeah, that's something just a little bit parallel to the Vise after round, but it's not critical, not necessary. Alright, one last screw. Almost. There we go. Alright, let's tighten these down. See how we get. That's good. That's good. Tight. I gotta have these two together. They may not line up very well. Let's find out. Here we go. Here's the real test. See if they come together fairly well. Pretty good. The rear one is a little taller. Not perfect, but I didn't mount them that way. Overall, that's not too bad. They mounted up. I've got some soft jaws. If I want, I can fly cut this so they're perfectly parallel on top. But really, it's the faces that I want to meet up. They're soft jaws anywhere. They're designed to mar and bang up and press a little bit when I'm working with something I don't want to mar up. At any rate, there you go. Soft jaws complete. That's one of the upgrades I wanted to do. It's a great way to practice doing mill cuts, face cuts. You can use a fly cutter, doing some drilling, some counter boring, and even counter sinking, chamfering for the screws and the nuts. And anyway, there we go. I've got all the edges all filed down so they're not too sharp. I think it's a good upgrade. So, bring you down here. That's what they look like. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to close the video here. Appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one.